This is the hip-hop cypher. This is the basketball court. We on the hood, the barrio, on the block. This is the parking lot. I want to let you know right now where we are. This isn't your regular stage. See, this isn't the place where you find superstores that are selling out. See, this isn't the place where you can get something delivered at your doorstep. Where we are right now, my friends, we're in the middle of what I like to call the bodega, the corner store, the grocery deli. You know exactly where we are. Now, the thing that I love about the bodega, the grocery, the deli, whatever you want to call it. I heard in LA they got liquor stores called bodegas, but I'm not from there, so we're going to have to figure some things out. But I want to let you know, before we even get into the conversation, the talk, the movement, I have to ask a very important question. When you go to the bodega, what is your breakfast sandwich of choice? Like you can't move unless you understand what your bacon, you know what I'm saying? I heard bacon, egg, and cheese. I heard bacon, egg, and cheese. I hear just a regular egg and cheese. Pork roll. Depending on where you are, Taylor ham, pork roll. I'm not going to get into that. Right? I grew up where it was just a butter roll. Right? 50 cents gets you some bread and some butter, and then they cut it down the middle, and then toast it if you're lucky, and then we start to cook. And for all of you to have that egg and cheese and all those sandwiches, I want to let you know, if you don't have some salt, some pepper, and some ketchup, also known as salt, pepper, ketchup, then you're not having a bodega sandwich. But what I really love about the bodega, and what we're going to teach you, my friends, today is the bodega blueprint. Now, the bodega blueprint is a methodology in which I want to be able to share with you all on the things that I've learned from my favorite bodegas, my favorite bodega shop owners, but also something that's going to reshape and shift what higher education could potentially look like. So I'm not just a bodega specialist. I'm also a 15-plus year higher educational specialist, educator, professor, all of the above. We don't care about the titles. I'm in the schools. But the reason why I want to teach you all the bodega blueprint is because we are at a critical point in higher education where challenges are continually being pushed at our doorfront. And we have to make sure that we solve the issues. And I think the bodega is the perfect place. So let's get right to it. Number one, we need to start to recognize what radical access looks like. Now, the bodega, what I love about the bodega, that it is a place of radical access. Now, you can go to the bodega literally at any time, at all hours of the day. Now, I have to share with you, I've been to a bodega at 3:30 in the morning. Don't ask me what I was doing at 3:30 in the morning. I was just getting my sandwich, leaving me alone. But what I knew is that I can go into that store, not only at any hour, but not be judged. It doesn't matter if you're wearing a three-piece suit. It doesn't matter if you were wearing sweatpants, if you had a do-rag on, if you had a bonnet, if you were walking in there with slides. The bodega lets you in. The bodega will let you buy that sandwich, buy those chips, buy those drinks. The bodega will let you know, listen, we still sell quarter waters. You can still get that Arizona iced tea for 99 cents. Now, I heard that the prices went up. And I don't approve that message. But the bodega said we are going to make sure you can find the access that you need. When we start thinking about our higher educational spaces, our colleges and our universities, how are we being radical in our access? Number one, we need to start looking at tuitions and the pricing of colleges and universities. Institutions have to be creative in how they are creating spaces for these young people and non-young people alike, non-traditional and all. How are we creating spaces of affordability for these college students that are coming in and staying? One of the main reasons why students leave and stop going to college is because they can't afford it. So some of the things that we have to do is looking at our financial aid packages and making sure that they're not only present, but they're present in different languages so that people understand what they're reading. so that the language isn't so complicated. We have to make second and third and fourth efforts to ensure that our students have a way to pay for college. What I love about the Bodega is that it is open a lot. You know, when COVID was going around, y'all heard about that before. I don't want to talk about it again. But there was 3 places that were open. The liquor store, I could get some Chinese food, and the Bodega. You get your toilet paper. Remember, nobody could get toilet paper? You can get it at the Bodega. The Bodega said, we are going to find a way. So when I think about the hours and the availability, let's start looking at our colleges and universities in the same way. What hours are we open? Should we be opening later hours, depending on our student population? Should Saturday afternoons be something that we look into? Maybe we open later in the day. Maybe 9 o'clock isn't great for our students, but you have to understand the community that you work in and make sure that they have access. It can't be this singular mindset and process for every single one of us. We have to be available for our students. And I always tell this to my colleagues. Listen, if we say that we're open from 9 to 5, be open from 9 to 5. If you're really going to be open from 10 to 3 instead, then tell me that. But don't let me show up at 4 o'clock and you're not present. Our students need the access. And the access goes beyond just the simplicities of the work that I'm talking about. I mean, we can start talking about ADA access and compliance and making sure that our disabled community also has access into your institution, looking at your ramps, looking at the elevators, making sure that there are opportunities for every single person that wants an educational opportunity, that they have it. And it's not simply based on the colleges and universities, but we need to start looking at our government officials and all of the people that we're electing into office. That's what it means to be radical in our access. Let's create more access for these young folks. Let me keep this moving. You have to be able to pivot and adapt much like a bodega cat. Bars. I didn't plan that. I did plan it. I did plan it. But what I love about the bodega cat, for those of you that are not familiar with the bodega cat, is that your bodega isn't really a bodega if you do not have a cat present. And the cat is primarily sitting on a piece of bread. And when you walk into that store, deli, bodega, you have to know that cat, high key, it owns the store. But what I love about the cat is that the cat understands toxic energy. The cat understands when it's time to move. The cat understands when it says, nah, you're not going to get bread today because I'm sitting on top of it and I'm not moving. We as college educators, we as people who are imploring our young folks and our educators and our students rather to move forward in their process, we have to be able to pivot. And I love this because, you know, we have to shift priorities every now and then. Besides the bodega cat, I think about the bodega owners. I don't know how many times I've walked into some of my favorite corner store delis and bodegas, and it's raining outside, and they haven't had umbrellas for sale for weeks. And then one day it's raining, and all of a sudden they've got umbrellas in the front of the store ready for sale. That is somebody who understands the concept of pivoting and adapting. Now in higher education, how are we navigating those spaces as well? Right? When we start thinking about technology, beyond just the concept of AI, but we have to understand we can't fight everything. We have to move and adapt as well. When our students are coming to us with mental health concerns, that doesn't mean that we just simply sit back in the way that we once were. That means we have to now think about, what does it look like? We have to be culturally responsive. Something I'm passionate about in all of our movements. That's what it means. Now understand that our students are also unpredictable, just like the customer that walks into that corner store deli and that bodega. You never know what they're going through. Some of our students have 4 or 5 people that they're taking care of on a regular basis, have 3 or 4 jobs that they have to go to on top of their regular classes. And who are we to not adapt? We are supposed to be the example. Higher education, you are the example. So the work that we do has to make sure that we're pivoting and that we're adapting like that bodega cat. Now, the bodega cat, one time I have to shout out my bodega cat. His name's Harry. And so, Harry, if you're watching out there, meow. Now, there's one last piece of the bodega blueprint that I want to share with you, and that is the Cornerstone community building. Now, when we start thinking about Cornerstone community building, I can't stress this enough. I've recently had the opportunity to really walk through the communities of the institution that I work for, that is working and moving through Jersey City. And one of the things that I see about that is that the Bodega is part of the community. The Bodega, they know your sandwich order. When you walk in there, they know you want the bacon, egg, and cheese, salt, pepper, no ketchup. They understand if you're a vegetarian, Jeff, I'm not going to put bacon on that sandwich for you. They know who you are even if they don't know your actual name. They'll give you a nickname. For years, I was known as Slim Glasses. You might be laughing. It hurt me at first. But now I rock around as Slim Glasses. And I loved it at the end of the day. Because even if they didn't quite know my name, they knew how Slim Glasses wanted his coffee. They knew how Slim Glasses liked his sandwich. They knew when Slim Glasses needed some toilet paper because we knew when Slim Glasses bought toilet paper the last time. They understand the space. They are a part of the community. When you say that they're on the corner, they are on the corner for a reason, to see on different viewpoints, to see around the corner, across the street, in front and behind. That's what we have to do as educators as well. Higher education, I'm calling us out. And I say us because I'm part of the problem and the solution. I have to be part of the solution. You have to understand who your students are. Number one, first and foremost, where are they from? Whether they're from a rural area or an urban mosaic, whether they're from an affluent community or they're poor students from a poorer neighborhood. We have to be able to understand who our students are. And if you are part of a college or a university, it goes even beyond understanding who your students are. You have to know the neighborhood that you're in. If you're anchored in an urban mosaic, as we call it, how urban are you actually? Are you having conversations with the churches? Are you talking to the bodega store owners? Do you know who's going up and down the blocks? Do you recognize the bus stations and what students are taking the buses? Do you know everything about those neighborhoods? The sneaker store. Anywhere in that urban area has to be a part of who you are. But then open the doors to those people as well. If you have young artists that need a space to rehearse some music, open those doors. If you have extra canvases that need painting on for those artists, give them those canvases. If you have community programming that's happening, make sure that the community is aware. But don't just post it on Instagram. Canvas the community. Build those relationships. But don't just be that anchor. Go into the community and be that corner store building. Be that bodega that opens the door for every single person. Higher education is in a fight right now. Every day on the news you hear something about money being taken away, grants not being afforded, diversity conversations that are attacking our livelihoods. But I'm letting you all know right now, if we start to think like a bodega, open those doors, create those spaces, create those opportunities, I guarantee you, not only will we shift the entire concept of what higher education can potentially be, but we can do so with a little salt, with a little pepper, and you better believe we're going to get some ketchup. Be that bodega. Thank you very much.